Okay, so this is video number 2, I guess, in the No Thrills series. We're not going to put too much effort into the editing. Really, just want to sit here and talk to you guys about set maneuvers, set openings, stuff that you want to arm yourself with um, when you're learning the game, because then you'll find that it actually opens up opportunities. You'll start seeing opportunities and situations where you can apply some of the strategy. So the last video I talked to you about an opening that we call a trap line. So I kind of set this up in a trap line again. As you can see, if you remember from the last video, trap line's all about this pawn and something else that you're going to put here. It's quite a formidable front line because basically if anybody takes out this white pawn here, this yellow pawn, which is tracking this way, as is this white pawn tracking this way, that white pawn is on a forward diagonal to that yellow pawn. So if anything comes in and takes this out, that pawn, obviously on its turn, will take that out. And then once you step on an outer terrace, a pawn is committed to go to that outer terrace's back line. So in this case, it's my own back line. So on my move, then all I can do is move the king out the way and promote my pawn to a queen. So that's why this trap line, if you like it, is such a formidable kind of opening. I'll just show you this actually from the other side, because the other thing I talked about is if you're going to park your bishop somewhere, park it here. Four Kings is all about creating opportunity for yourself. And again, if you remember, we did a scenario where the queen wandered down here. I moved that pawn onto the queen, which was threatening the queen, which opened up this diagonal that we talked about, putting the king in check. So that basically by moving one pawn, it creates two situations for my opponent. One, they've got to save their queen. Secondly, they've got to get themselves out of check. And then I simply move this bishop onto this knight, and that's three pieces that they have to deal with, but they've only got 2 turns to do it. So that was what we would call a 3 into 2. I just want to show you, this is quite subtle. Like I said, you don't want to blow this diagonal. So you subtly put it here, and I want to show you what this looks like from the other side. Just bear with me. So I'll just flip around the other side. I've just put these green pieces in random places, so this is not actually a game that's playing out. I've just moved some things around, done a sort of a basic opening, not the best opening actually on the black side. But example being, here's that open rank that I was telling you about, or open file there. There's the bishop parked behind it. Here's the bishop parked behind it. So you can see when you're viewing it from your opponent's side, it's actually quite subtle. It's on the outside view, really, because this is your typical playing position. So you've either got to pan left to really notice that, or pan right. So it's quite a subtle thing to be sitting there. It doesn't always pay off. At some point, an opponent will probably do this, and that opportunity is gone. So that's cool. Bring that bishop into play if that's the case. But while it's open, get yourself in a position where you can take advantage of an opportunity should it arise, and that is this queen making its way down here, and actually it would be here, and this pawn opening up. Anyway, so that's it from the other side. But what this video is about is primarily what I want to show you is a move that we call a knight's gate. And again, it's an opportunity move, and doesn't always pay off. But I want to explain to you what you're looking for and when you should attempt to put yourself in a position to capitalize on it. So let's just say we're kind of into the mid game here. Let's just leave these pieces here. What I'm doing is I'm waiting. This is the square that I'm aiming for. So I would put my knight here, let's just say, and I'm just waiting. I can't jump in with a double hop at the moment and take that pawn because that bishop is looking after it. So that would be suicide. But what I'm waiting to occur, or I may have seen already occur, which is why I've subtly moved there, is this bishop is off that line. So let's just say it's in play here. And so what that creates is a great opportunity or potential for a 3 into 2, another 3 into 2. It's certainly going to create an issue where I'm going to be threatening 2 pieces, and I'll show you in a minute. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump the knight down here. Obviously, it's got a range of a double hop, land there. What that's doing is it's threatening the queen on a single hop, and it's also putting this king in check on a double hop. So straight away, you're going to be threatening 2 pieces. And then all I have to do is create another 3 into 2. So let me just show you how that will play out. So I'll jump in there. And as you can see, that's check from the double hop. And I'm also now threatening that queen. This is completely safe. It's safe from the rook. It's safe from that knight. So that's 2 moves my opponent's got to deal with that single maneuver. And then all I have to do now, I mean, I can do whatever I want here. I can put that bishop on that queen, for example. That's the beauty of having your bishops backed up, is that bishop is looking after that bishop. So even if this queen comes in and takes it, and then they get out of check. But the beauty of this move, in actual fact, it actually gets a little bit deeper here. They can't move this, because for them to get out of this check, that's why these knights are so powerful. There's the double hop check. But let's say the king moved forward 1 square, it's still check, because this knight can do that. Of course, it's 2 L-shaped maneuvers in any direction. So the only way for this king to get out of check is really to either, well, actually the only square they can move to is this one here. Move the pawn forward, say 1. That's 1 move. And then move the king out of check. That's 2 moves. So now, my responding turn is I can come in here. I can take that queen. Thank you very much. And look, I'm going to lose my knight if I take that queen. And some people value their knight so much that they would rather lose a queen than a knight. Personally, I'd rather hold on to my queens. I've got 4 knights. I've only got 2 queens. So I would do this exchange. But, you know, if it's not that one, then, well, really, you want to take that. You know, you want to capitalize it, because that's what you've come in for with the knight's gate, to create that scenario. So in I come. So that's a great exchange. You know, that's a queen. It's 2 queens for a bishop, because that knight's going to come in and take that bishop, and that king's obviously going to come down and take my knight. So those sort of exchanges are what are going to win the game for you. You know, we call it exchanging up. Your pieces are valued in accordance to their versatility. You know, bishops and 4 kings, 1 war are valued as a 3, rooks are 4, knights are 7, queens are 9. But, you know, if you think about in traditional chess, bishops are valued 3 and a knight's valued 3. Bishops are valued 3 and a rook is valued 4. And if you think about it, you think, well, why is that? I mean, bishops can travel as far as from a distance point of view as a rook can. It's just one goes on a diagonal, one goes on, you know, horizontals or straight lines. However, the bishop can only travel on the color that it starts on, obviously. So if it starts on a white square, it can only ever travel on a white square, whereas a rook can go from black to white to black to white to black to white. So a rook is just a little bit more versatile, and that's kind of where the mathematics, if you like, or the mystery of the maths, is not really maths. The value of the piece is really just comes down to how versatile. So if you are always exchanging up, you're exchanging lesser value pieces for a higher value piece, then inevitably what's going to happen is your opponent's going to have a way less versatile army than you do. And of course, the inevitable outcome to that is you'll start rolling over the top of them at some point. So you always want to look for opportunities to exchange up. But that's the knight's gate. So just to highlight, I came here on the square and I was looking to attack this square because this bishop had come off the line. And of course, what that does is a single hop, double hop, take that piece out, put the king in check, threaten the queen with 1 move, which is great, and then I put another piece on the queen. You don't want to do that maneuver as if all your opportunity to do is just to jump there, threaten the queen and threaten the king. In this case, it's worked out because it required the king 2 moves to get out of check. But I haven't really opened this army properly, and normally the king would have a little bit more space than that, and it would only be 1 move for the king to get out of check, and then the queen could move to safety if that's all you had on. So really, when you set up for this maneuver, you want to make sure, because as soon as you jump there, an intermediate player is probably going to spot what you're up to. So you don't want to give it away. So you want to wait till something's in place. So wait till there is a queen that you've got a bishop that you can put on in play, or a knight is on a diagonal that you've got a bishop you can put on. Now you know that you can threaten 3 pieces, then execute on that maneuver. Boom, take that pawn out, check, threaten your queen, and move that bishop onto that knight, or whatever the scenario is. So, you know, again, I want to highlight that because that's the mindset of 4 kings that's going to win you the game. It's kind of a hustle, and there's patience involved. You know, you don't want to blow your cover too soon. You want to, and sometimes that requires, instead of doing 2 bold maneuvers in order to get in place to take a hidden attack out or something like that, chances are your opponent will see what you're up to, because it's kind of, well, what are you up to here? So sometimes you might want to spread that over 3 turns. Move the pawn, do something else. Next turn, put your bishop in place behind the pawn, do something else, and then pull the maneuver off and hope they don't notice it. But anyway, I've tried to keep these videos down to a much shorter length, and this is another 10-minute video because I just keep talking, but there was so much to talk about in this game. It's just such an amazing game. Even with this Knight's Gate, there is some more depths to that strategy that you can even just make it a bit more of a heavy hitter. You go in and then for example, had I put this rook here before I executed on that, then I jump in, take that. That's putting the king in check. Then I could, if I wanted to, my other option could have been take the queen out and then boom, come in and take the knight out because I've now moved my knight off that square. So there's layers and layers and layers of this thing. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one. Another No Thrills video. That's called the Knight's Gate. Primarily, that's what we talked about. The next one I think I might show you some more examples of just some cool 3 into 2s, and because I want you guys to be looking for those. They will win the game. You want to look for 3s into 2s, pressure, 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 pressure. Yeah, so I think I might show you a few of those. But anyway, again, if you do like this video or you want to see more of these videos, I'll probably keep pumping them out anyway. But what definitely helps me understand, what you're resonating with, and it certainly helps the channel, which overall helps the whole game, is like the video, as you know, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. But until next time, that's the Knight's Gate.